Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this graphic. It's too blurry to trace, so let's just draw it. I'm going to take the polygon tool set on 6. I have not practiced this. I'm just kind of doing theory. And I'm going to do that right there, and I'm going to go to Object and convert it to a curve. And if you see this kind of got a swoop, I'm going to get rid of the center nodes. And I'm going to left click or select them all, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to turn them to a curve. And by doing that, I can make that little swoop of that. We need to make it a little bit wider here in just a second. But if I grab the center here, now if you wanted them identical, you could do it another way and mirror it over, but I don't think that we care. So now that we've got it like that, I'm going to make it a little bit wider. So there's the top of the tree. Now, let's try this. Let's try hitting the plus key and putting it right there. And now let's expand it out. If we hold down the shift key, it'll grow in both directions. That's almost too much for the second one. And then if we control D, it actually is going to make it bigger. And well, it didn't. Hold down the shift key, make it a little bit bigger. Hold down the shift key and make it a little bit bigger. Now, this is all the same color, but there is a line going through there, so we need that line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my virtual segment delete key and delete the top part and leave that line. And then I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to group it together, and then I'm going to make it a little bit taller. And maybe that's not bad. This one should actually be up a little bit. Let's ungroup it to make it kind of look more like it. Move this one up a little bit. Maybe move this one up a little bit. And then we could always make it bigger. Now we want to keep that line going across. So what I'm going to do, and it might be better in this case to go ahead and select it all. Go ahead and make it black. Let's make it something other than a hairline. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to go, here's a good lesson. If I smart fill it right now with a green, you won't really be able to see that bottom line as much. So what we're going to do, we're going to take them all and convert the outline to an object. And by doing that, now I'm going to use that green of that tree. So I'm going to grab this smart fill tool, grab the eyedropper, get that green, and I'm going to fill that in. And you can see the line pretty good. Now it's on a black background, so you can't really see that line. And then, that's a fat 6-sided star. Let's just take a star. No, it's a 5-sided. And let's make it fat by going downhill, or, make it like that. Let's go ahead and, it's not perfectly arranged. We'll go ahead and make it that color. Smart fill tool, eyedropper, fill that in. And on this, I would take away the outline. So select it, take away the outline. Now, the only other thing is the path, and this is almost easier, that the paths don't really continuously go. That path doesn't go up to that path. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw some paths. And I think the easiest tool for me to do it in is the 3-point curve line. And I'm going to actually draw in like 10 points so I can see it. Yeah, it did make it 10 points. Let's tell you what, let's go ahead and change it. Hit F12 on your keyboard, go to graphic, make it 10 points. Go ahead and make it black. We can always change that back. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. Take your 3-point curve line, kind of start maybe there and go across to there and go up. That's too thick, but we could change it. And then, well, really my tree's a lot different. So I'm making a bunch of paths. And And I can change the line here in just a second because that's too thick. So what I can do is I can select all these lines and make them 3 points. Well, I selected that line too. I can select that line and turn it back to whatever point it was. Now the other graphic, and some of them are overlapping, but let's see what my line drawing now is. You know what? I'm going to use the freehand tool and just kind of go like that. That's bugging me. So let's go back to F12, change it to 2 points, just so you can see it. And I think the freehand tool might work just as good. You don't want a perfect scenario anyway. I'm trying to mimic the tree quite good. Now, if we want to make all those lines the same, we can nudge all these out of the way and actually nudge that line. Find out what line this is. It says none. Oh, it's an object. That's right. We convert it to an object. Yeah, this one, let's go, let's convert it to an object. I don't know how I did that. Well, it's a little bit thick right now. So now I can take all these and make them all the same width. I think we're going to just make them 1.5. Now, but these are different paths. So let's take, in the coloration isn't probably the easiest, but I'm going to make some dots. Now that really bugs me. F12 on the keyboard. Now I want to draw in a hairline. And I'm going to get it back to my red. And I'm going to draw a dot. That's too big. Now I'm going to use the blend tool. So with the blend tool, you need 2 of everything, but I'm going to need 4 more. So I'm going to hit the plus key and move them down because I'm going to need to blend everything. The one biggest mistake when you blend is make sure you don't have two copies of one thing. Now we're going to go to effects and blend. I think it'll be easier. Let's say I'm going to blend it 6 times. Whoop. And then that's about right. Then blend along new path, put it on that path, blend along full path, hit apply. That's pretty good. And now let's grab these 2. Let's blend them. They're going this way. So there's more. So let's do 8. And let's blend along this path. We're going to have to color them in later. That looks pretty good. Let's do one more, and then we'll do that. Hopefully I can draw that clover. This is a pretty long one. We'll go back, stay with 8. And then one more is this one. And I'm just going to do one of that one. Hopefully I can figure out how to draw that. And then what I would do is I wouldn't even, you don't need to break them apart. Just take you know what, that's a good thing though. Because if we fill this in with a smart fill tool, it's only going to fill in that black line is going to show. So this is good that almost happened. We're going to break the blend apart. And they're still in a group. So I'm going to ungroup them. Then I'm going to move this line out of the way for just a second. It's hard to get that line. So I'm just, moved it way over there. And actually, I'm going to move that one too. And then I could fill these in. And I'm going to use more than this. I'm not going to use too many colors because you'll just get the idea. And in a second, I think we can use the attribute eyedropper on the other ones. Not very Christmassy, but then I would select them all and left click no outline. Now let's bring this line back and see it's behind the page because we created those other ones. So we're really good. I'm not going to do the other ones. I'm going to do the clover looking things. Trying to figure out how to draw that. Let's hold down the control button, make a perfect one. Go up to object, convert it to a curve. I maybe should have practiced this. And we've got some nodes. Let's select them all and convert them. No, they're converted. And let's see if we can't just, how would we make, you know what? Let's try this. Let's try this. Good, better idea. You don't have to hit your calculator. Let's take an ellipse and go type in like 1, and that's way too much, but it's fine. Control D and make a duplicate, and then mirror it 90 degrees and weld it. And that's pretty close. Now theirs are a little more abstract. You know, they're not perfect like mine, but you know, you could make them a little more abstract. And for people that don't watch enough of my video, my my delete key is right near my calculator. So that's way too big. Now we move that line out of the way. Let's move it up and take these is way too big. Now you're going to need 2 of them. And that's a short line, and mine are a little bigger. Let's try just 5 copies. That'll actually give you 6. Blend along path. Blend along full path. See, there's too many. Let's just do 4. That'll give us 6. And you could rotate them. Okay, no big deal. Let's just do this. Let's go to effects. Let's select them all, object, break the blend apart, and we could just get rid of one of these. And then these are still in a group, and we definitely don't want them touching. So let's ungroup them. And let's put this one here, this one. And you know, some of this time it's almost easier. You could do this manually on everything. Let's actually rotate. Maybe help it fit. Now, let's move the line back down. And then when we fill in the blues and colors, I guess I should pick more Christmas colors. When we fill in the color, they're going to be on top because it was the last thing we made. I'm going to go ahead and take away the outline by right-clicking, and then I'm going to move them down and over. And see, they're behind the line, but the line still shows up like it's wrapped. And then let's move them over to our tree. Pretty cool. You know, and you could expand them out. The trunk's easy. Everything else is easy. Anyway, I gave my star an outline. And because I nudged the whole time, I can do that. Now, this is grouped together. No, it's not. If this was grouped together, you could move it around a little bit better. You know, you could move it after the fact, probably might even be the best. And then move that up to there so you can't see that, my squiggly black line. Anyway, I was going to show the attribute eyedropper. Let Let me move that out of the way. Let me get my line out of the way. Okay, that's a blend, so we got to go to Object, Break Blend Apart, grab our line. Sometimes it's easier to grab the first dot and then move it out of the way. So attribute eyedropper, of course you wouldn't want to move them, but if you wanted those same colors that you didn't really remember, I grabbed see how my bounding box is big? I grabbed another one of those parts. If you use your color eyedropper, it's a lot faster. It will go yellow, yellow. I don't say it's faster than the, well, you actually have to hit escape or hit the pick tool. I'm going to need to research that. I did have a way to. Now see here, you've got an outline. I can make the outline blue, or I can make the center blue. Yeah, I need to find that video where I did where whatever color you're using, you don't have to click on it. I don't have green. And then I think it would look a lot better to take away the outline. And then I would group them together, and you could just manually put these lines back in there. I might have done it. You know what? I did a different line. Oh, there's my line up there. But anyway, you could use that same line because it's grouped. We could grab that. Well, it's not going to be on the same line. You know what? It would almost be easier to take the lines away. And of course, this is going to make your balls bigger, but they're on the bottom. Now, this will affect it when we use because we're going to put a line right through the middle. You know what? This would be a good example for the 3-point curve line because that's in sort of a curve. Now it's going to put it right on top. Let's make it black. I don't remember what points we made the other. And then instead of getting the green, we're going to have to get this and go up to Object and go front of page and that put it behind there. You know, it might be easier just to create, well, you've got to create the dots to get the path. Anyway, this video is taking too long, but I think they get the idea. And I like them kind of hanging over the edge, like they're being wrapped around the tree. Hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.